Like, listen to this, man. Like, this feels like Sumeru. I don't think any other region's music really puts you in the vibe of the region as much as Sumeru's music.
I want to spend some time at the bottom of the
sea. It's just the best one.
In peace.
It really is.
And total silence.
And the thing about Sumeru music is that it just doesn't miss, right? Like, it is consistently this good. Like, this track is one of the worst ones in Sumeru, and it's still this good. Region tier list, not just music in general. Okay. First off, Dragonspine and S tier, of course. Dragonspine is the best region, and it's not even close. Part of it is because of when it was released. I feel like if Dragonspine was released now, it just wouldn't hit the same, because part of what made it good was that the enemies were more dangerous. But at this point, no enemies are dangerous, right? Alright, Chasm. There's no underground Chasm, so I'm guessing you're supposed to assume this includes underground Chasm. I think this is gonna be my most controversial take. I just didn't like Chasm that much. I get why people liked it. It just didn't do it for me. I think part of that is because when I did Chasm, I was just fucking tilted trying to get to the ruined serpent and rushing through it instead of actually trying to enjoy the exploration. And that probably took away a lot of the like enjoyment from it, but I can't help it. It happened. And because of that, I'm actually gonna put Chasm in like C tier. I'll also make an Inazuma tier. Only having Amber for Dragonspine kind of ruined it for me. I mean, that's on you. By the time you reach the AR to do Dragonspine, you have the AR to do Abyss 3 and to get Chengling. Part of what makes Dragonspine so good for me is that it was just as good on my second account as it was on my first account. I've yet to see someone use a valid argument against Inazuma. It was boring and it wasn't fun. It's pretty small. Things just aren't really fun. And I wasn't invested in the region because the story was really bad. Why though? You can't just say that. Why not? I did not have fun because I was bored. It was boring. There was nothing engaging about it. I can't describe the absence of something engaging. There just was nothing that engaged me. Alright, Enka, we're good. Enka is separated. What's this, by the way? Is that... Kind of can't tell because it's too small. Last desert area? Oh, I haven't even explored it, so I can't really rank it. This is the first desert area, right? Then this is the desert expansion, and this is the last? Okay. Sumeru, mainland Sumeru, I will put in A tier. I think mainland Sumeru is the best part of Sumeru by far. I think first part of the desert was the best. Desert expansion was worse. Okay, let's talk about Mondstadt. Here's the thing about Mondstadt. If you compare Mondstadt to other regions, it isn't that great. It doesn't really have anything that crazy. However, your initial exposition to Mondstadt is when everything is new. So the fact that there's nothing original is good. You don't want to overwhelm new players. It shouldn't be all that interesting, like unironically. It's supposed to be a starting area. And I feel like it does that job very well. Mondstadt is 90% ripoff from other games. Yeah, and other games are good. I think Storm Terror's Lair actually is really pog. I think this part of Mondstadt is like pretty good. And then I think that like specifically this area where you have the like big ass domes early on is also pretty nice. It gives you a good introduction to like quote-unquote big puzzles, where they're not like big puzzles, but they're like multi-step things, right? Multi-step mini-quest, I guess. But it does feel fairly empty outside of that. I think they should have made it a bit smaller. Either that or find more things to fill the rest of it. All in all, though, I can't put it in A because it's just not that great. But I will put it in B because I feel like it just does really well of a job as a starter area. I'd put it above the desert, I think. Alright, Liyue. So, Liyue does benefit quite a bit from being a 1.0 area. I feel like if it was released today, people would not like it at all, because they would feel that it's very basic. But it isn't. It wasn't released today. It was released in 1.0. And as like the player's first exposition to, hey, the world is bigger than just Mondstadt and not every place looks like Mondstadt, I feel like it did that job very well. It didn't just look different from Mondstadt, it also felt very different from Mondstadt, which I think is really nice. I like the fact that there's a lot of different sub-areas that really look and feel very different from each other, but it feels like the transitions between them are actually natural instead of it just being like, yeah, these areas are different because they're different islands. I like the ways in which they separate the different sub-areas. And yeah, actually, the place where you get your first 5-star artifact, that shit felt intimidating as a new player, but it felt like a thing to work towards. It was nice. I liked it a lot. All in all, I think I would put it around the same place as Mondstadt. I don't think it quite beats out Sumeru, but it was very well done. Next up, Enka, and this is going to be my second very controversial take. Alright, my first one being that I just didn't like Chasm very much. My second very controversial take is, honestly, I can't rank Enka because it was so not memorable. I don't remember what Enka was like. I don't remember my first experience with Enka because it just wasn't memorable at all. And because you don't have an incentive to go back to it, like you do in some of the other subregions, I haven't gone back to it. I don't fucking remember it at all. And because of that, I can't rank it, because I don't know. I don't remember if I liked it or not. I remember liking the music to some extent, but very vaguely. And so as such, this is my region tier list. Last Desert, I haven't explored it enough to know. But part of that is because it just felt like shit. So I'm not very confident in this, but if you were to put me at gunpoint and force me to rank it somewhere, I'd rank it in D. It's the only area where like I've actively just avoided finishing it because I just don't like it. It was the best part of the desert. Then they should have put it first, or they just shouldn't have released this area and burnt me out of the desert bullshit. Honestly, fuck it. I'm putting this down a bit. Where goes Fontaine? So far, honestly, I'd probably put it in C tier. Maybe bottom B. I don't know. Like, it's not bad. It's fine exploration. And to be fair, I haven't finished it, right? Like, there's still some quest lines I haven't done, which are going to lead me to some new areas. Best underwater exploration I've ever experienced in a video game. Is it, though? Or is it just the most chill underwater? Because, like, there's a difference between something being comfortable and something being good, right? It is comfortable, but you're not really doing anything. It doesn't feel like exploration. It just feels like a checklist of things you need to do. It feels like you're filling up the exploration percentage. You're not actually exploring anything. That's my main issue with it. Yeah, it feels very empty. Isn't that all of the game's exploration? Yes and no, because for the rest of the game, yeah, the exploration is pretty basic, but you at least have a way to interact with it in different ways, because the exploration includes combat, and the combat can feel very different based on which characters you play. Underwater removing that puts, like, it highlights how empty the exploration feels even more for me. And, like, that's a very subjective thing, right? Like, at the end of the day, this is very subjective. And it should be treated as such, because it is. But yeah, I would put it in C tier. Underwater is fun for 30 minutes to an hour, then it starts feeling samey. Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like if you're the kind of person who, when you go to an art museum, you stay at the same painting or sculpture or whatever for like 10 plus minutes, you'll be able to enjoy Fontaine's underwater exploration. But if you're like me and you stay for like 1 minute or less and then move on to the next one, Fontaine just won't do it for you. I feel like that's the best way I can describe it. Why is Dragonspine S tier? Mainly because it's just a good region. There's so many things. Isn't that just someone who dislikes exploring? No, because I don't dislike going to art museums. I think it's interesting. And I read the text under the painting to get to know more information. And once I've looked at it for 30 seconds, I've looked at it. I know what it looks like now. That's enough of that. I can move on to the next one and learn more about a new thing. Anyways, getting back to why Dragonspine exploration was really good. I just liked how no other area really gives you a strong incentive to look around, right? You're never actively looking for things. Whenever there's a quest, you have a quest marker that tells you where you're supposed to go. You never actually have to look around, right? In Dragonspine, the freeze mechanic makes it so that, okay, this is an area where I don't get frozen, right? Okay. I have left my safe little area now, kinda, soon. I've left my safe little area. For now I'm fine, but I should try at the very least to like spot some place where I can replenish my heat meter. Maybe over there, no. Down here. Oh, that's an actual place. There looks to be some light over there. Oh no. This light doesn't heat me up. Oh, maybe this one will? Oh no, it does not. Okay, this type of light doesn't heat me up, but that's fine. I still have some time. Let's try to find something very quickly. Oh golly, this is a dead end. Ah! Gotta go back. The way that it forces you to look around you to try to find something, it makes me actually look at things. It makes me engage more with the exploration because I'm forced to. And like, if you fuck it up, you don't get punished by instant death, right? You just start losing some HP. And you can always teleport back to a safe area if you want. Or you can heal up and try to make it to the next part. Hell, you can out-heal the damage you take pretty easily. If that's really what you want to do, if it really bothers you. Isn't it the same in Inazuma? The thing about the Inazuma, I assume you're talking about the Tatarasuna Island. There's something similar in Tatarasuna, but because everything is like blended together and the colors all look the same, sometimes you just won't see the thing you're looking for because it looks like everything else. Everything looks too similar. Right? And it gets removed after you finish the quest, yeah. Like, visually, it just doesn't...
Maybe I should put on my diving helmet too.
It's just too purple. Whereas this...
warm.
That's a banger, man. Paired with the fact that Dragonspine enemies were higher level than Mondstadt enemies, I'm pretty sure. I think. They felt like they were.
Hip.
Dragonspine is a region that, in universe, is dangerous. And you should only go there if you're prepared. And it feels like it. And I feel like it's the only area where they really pulled that off really well. Making the area feel in the gameplay like it would for a person who is actually exploring this in-universe. It's really good for immersion. The Chasm is the same? Is it though? I don't know, like, Chasm was just fucking dark. But like, it wasn't gloomy, it was just like, hey, can I turn up the fucking brightness on my monitor? It's definitely gloomy. It didn't really manage to make me feel that way. I'm glad if you were able to get that out of the experience. I just wasn't. Would I like Nutland to have a heat counterpart to sheer cold? Not really. It's not a counterpart, it's just the same thing but a different color. Or like, I assume you're talking about the thing that Senora does, right? It's just sheer cold again. There's no real difference between the two. I would like for it to have a different mechanic. Like, I'd be down for something that is also like an exploration mechanic that can make it feel more interactive, more dangerous. But I don't want the same one again. I'd like a different one. Yeah, but you have to jump in water to cool off. I feel like that wouldn't really work for that one. Why would the water be cold? I feel like that could work for a desert area. You have to jump in the water to cool off. But Notland's a volcanic area. The water's gonna be fucking boiling. Or at least I hope it will be.